Hello, Lisa here. Welcome back to my channel and welcome to this first impressions walkthrough and discussion about the Goddess on Earth Oracle, a divination deck and guidebook with spirited wisdom from your sisters by Lisa Lavart. Oh my gosh. I don't even know where to start with this. I don't normally do my videos this way, but I'm just going to share with you what happened. So Lisa reached out, the creator of this deck. Lisa, I've got a little fuzzy and it's bugging me. I'm sorry. This is real life, yo. Okay. I probably could cut that out, but I don't know if I will. Lisa Lavart reached out to me via email and asked me if I would be interested in checking out this deck and sharing it with you guys. And you know, I didn't know at first. I've been very, very, very picky about goddess decks in my collection lately. I'm sitting here now thanking everything around me that I did not say no to doing this walkthrough or this review, because I am so blown away. And again, I have some impressions already, which is not normally how I do this, but I literally couldn't stop myself. When Lisa first reached out to me, I immediately went to her website. This is normal for me. I will go and learn a little bit more about the project before I agree to check it out on the channel. And I went and looked, and she had a video, and somehow I missed this deck. I still don't know how. Like, this was on Kickstarter. Now, it could have been that I saw that it was a goddess deck, and that's as far as I got, because I've been, again, very, very picky about bringing any goddess decks into my collection. So that could have been what happened, but I don't know. But I watched the video associated with the making of this deck, and it was such a well done video. It captured the energy of this project and of what Lisa was trying to do, I think, really, really well. From at least I felt like the message came across so poignantly and so clearly, and I was so touched and so moved. I don't think I've had that reaction to a Kickstarter campaign video ever. And this Kickstarter has since been funded and the deck produced, so it's coming to me now after all of that. But I was so blown away by what I saw that I wrote back to her and I said, look, I said, I don't ever promise a video, because I don't know until I get a deck in hand if it's going to really resonate or if I'm going to like it or want to share it. And so I gave my standard disclaimer, you know, like I can't guarantee until I get it in person. But I also told her, you know, I said I don't see that being a problem because I was just so blown away by the video that I'm really excited to get my hands on it. Like, I had such a reaction, and I wasn't expecting it. So I am really thrilled to dive into this with you. But before we get into the deck, and I know that, again, I feel like the last couple walkthroughs I've done it this way. I know we want to talk about the cards. I'm sorry. I'm going to have timestamps down below. Please use them if you want to skip all of this gunk. But to me, it's not gunk. I'm so excited because when I received this package, I was expecting this set, right? The deck and the little guidebook that comes with it, which again, we'll get into eventually, someday. This is probably gonna be a long video. I should have warned you, but I mean, you're on my channel, so you probably know my videos go long. So like, I mean, it's fine. Anyways, I did not expect to receive in the box this absolutely stunning book, which I'm not kidding you. When I opened this package and I saw this book, I was sitting on my couch, and normally I would just kind of make sure everything's out of its packaging and set it aside to do a video because I like to share my first impressions with you guys. But I don't know what it was. I think it was remembering the video. I just had to crack open this beautiful book. And then I sat on my couch and I went through it cover to cover. Just literally, have you ever read something or looked at something and you recognize that you've been sitting there staring at, looking at, or absorbing whatever it is with your mouth hanging wide open the entire time? That was my experience with this. It took my breath away. It was honestly so, there's something that, I don't know how to describe the experience of it, but all I guess I can tell you is that I feel like there's soul in this, and I don't always have that reaction to everything. This was like, oh my god, this is amazing. And I hadn't even looked at the deck yet, and this is why I need to gush a little bit about the book. But this is a really nice and quite large, like, coffee table like book. Like, this is big. I had to adjust my camera angle so we could get it in the frame. Really nice cloth bound, gorgeous. I'm going to show you this because I think this is worth your money if you are touched by this the way that I am. And I know we're not even into the deck yet. And again, I'm sorry, please use the timestamps if you're not at all interested, but like, also give it a chance because like it just blew me away. Anyway, so we get into this beautiful book. It's just gorgeous, glossy pages that smell amazing. I have a thing about inky color pages. I don't know. The dedication. I dedicate this book to all the women who have shared their divine light with me. And I think that's the thing. Essentially, what we're going to be looking at is photography of photos that have been taken of women who have shared which archetype, which goddess or divine feminine archetype they want to represent in their photograph. And then they share why in the pages of this book. Now, it's organized between the 3 stages of like the goddess's cycle, the maiden, the mother, and the crone, which I think is really powerful. And so first we have the maidens. And I mean, I'm not going to flip through the whole thing, but every single page has a gorgeous photograph that really captures the energy that I feel like is trying to be portrayed. The name of the divine feminine archetype that person is embodying in the photograph. And then their own words about their understanding of or experience with that particular divine feminine archetype. There is something so incredibly... I've never sat down and like looked at a photography book like this ever. And the fact that it had such a strong impact on me, I'm going to go ahead and skip ahead some pages. It just really was shocking how much of a reaction I felt from all of these photographs and the words of the women that had participated in this project. I was also really blown away by the incredible diversity of the women represented from all walks of life and all different cultures. I felt like there was something really special here, really embodied, and really, like, this is what the divine feminine is to me. And I don't know how else to say it, but it's absolutely so incredibly well done. I can't even. I'm literally speechless. I so thoroughly enjoyed going through this book. And again, I don't want to flip through the whole thing, but then at the end of every section, so at the end of the maiden section, at the end of the mother section, and then of course at the end of the crone section, you do get a little paragraph about each of the myths of the divine feminine archetypes that were represented in the photographs. This is the kind of book that, like, if I had a coffee table, this would literally live on it, because it is something so special and sacred and awesome. And I loved it. I loved it. And this is Starhawk, by the way. I had a little moment about that. This is Starhawk at Glastonbury Tour. I'm pretty sure that's what that is. At Glastonbury Tour, representing Maeve, the fairy queen. I mean, anyway. So when I saw this, I was like, what? And what I had seen when she first had reached out to me, what I'd looked at was the video about the deck. So this was such a treasure and such a gift to receive this as well from Lisa. It was really quite generous of her. This is not, I mean, it has a beautiful ribbon bookmark in it. Like, this is a really beautiful, stunning book, and I'm so grateful that she sent this. Anyways, I'm going to stop gushing about the book. I know, I want to keep gushing. I do want to say one thing, though, before we jump on to the Oracle. I was expecting that this was a lot of the same information, the same photographs, the same goddesses or divine feminine archetypes. I was expecting these to be the same as what's in the Oracle. And while I think there may be some duplicates, I haven't checked thoroughly to find out. There's not very many. If any, there's very few. So these are 2 complete projects all by themselves, and one does not overlap the other in any way that I found significant. So I think that's also good information to have, because this just kind of... This came out first, right? This is Lisa's first book, apparently. It's stunning. It's stunning. I have nothing else. It's got all this metallic gold. I am so excited to own this. You just don't know. And again, I went through the whole thing cover to cover and just jaw open. It's something. It's something special. Let's take a look now at why we're here. The Goddess on Earth Oracle. First off, I, again, mouth open when I sort of unwrapped the plastic from this deck, because it's got this book-like indentation. In fact, it is designed to look like pages, right? And in the back, you have this beautiful, like, copper detailing. And it has, I'm guessing these are the elements. So we have spirit, fire. One of these is earth. Maybe this one's earth, air, water. I don't know which is which, but... beautiful, like, sort of handmade sigils for the elements. Beautiful copper foil detailing on this box here as well. Really, really gorgeous. This feels magical. It's soft touch, so it's got that sort of rose petally, velvety feel to it. Lovely, lovely. And when you open the box, it's a magnet, but it's not a wraparound or anything. But when you open the box, it says, "We are all here to lift, hold, and be present for one another as we travel on our journeys." And I mean, it's So there's no ribbon to lift the book out, so you do have to kind of be careful getting that out of there. We'll set that aside. That book I will wait till the end, I promise. Okay, so then you have this beautiful tray, and everything's soft touch, right? So it's that kind of rose petal-y, but it's I've felt multiple kinds of rose petal or soft touch finish. This is smoother, slipperier than your standard rose petal finish, so it feels, I don't know how to describe it. It's not quite as I don't know what the word is for it. It's not as like fuzzy feeling as some of them can be. It feels a little smoother. So then you pull the cards out with this little ribbon. So here again we have the elements, right? Earth, air, fire, water, and spirit. So we'll just tuck that aside. Oh, it's so pretty. Okay. I'm going to have to really zoom in because I'm much higher than I normally much higher than I normally am, so we can see the cards. Now, one of the things immediately when I was looking at the video for this deck that jumped out at me and I was so excited to see, I expect usually a deck like this, what we would see for the words on the cards is we would see the name of the Divine Feminine archetype. Instead, what Lisa has done here, and what I think makes this deck infinitely more usable, is instead of the name of the archetype, we have just keywords here to let us intuitively work with the cards, whether or not we even know who are these archetypes represented. Now, I really personally enjoy that a lot because it makes this deck something that I can pull out and just work with. So here we have just Embrace Change on the first card. Before we go in card by card, though, quick moment to talk about the rest of the production values. So we have these beautiful backings that, again, have the 5 elements: earth, air, water, fire, and spirit in the center. Really beautiful. And then we have this gorgeous like copper colored gilding. It's really, really pretty. And it of course matches the copper details on the box. Okay. And oh, one last thing before I forget. The cards have elemental borders, right? So you have green for earth, blue for water, yellow for air, red for fire, purple for spirit, and then there are some extra creature cards at the back, and we will go through those. So here we are. So card 1, and there's a number on the bottom so that you can easily look things up in the guidebook later. I did find with my copy of the deck, there was some wraparound, just a little bit of the gilding, in some places where the gilding the cards were a little bit stuck together. That doesn't bother me. It's not a big deal, but I also didn't pay for the deck, so keep that in mind if that's something that might really, really bother you. With certain kinds of gilding, particularly I find this like not shiny, not flaky kind of gilding. This is a nice matte gilding. This kind I find tends to cling a little bit better to the cards and last much, much longer. But I have found sometimes with that gilding you do get just a tiny bit of stick sometimes. So just be aware of that. Be mindful when you're separating your cards when you first get them, that sort of thing. Anyways, let's get into it. So Embrace Change. This is just a stunning image. Okay, I already want to get into the book. I'm sorry. I'm a liar. I'm like, I'm not going to look at the book. I'm not going to belabor the book. This is what I want to do. So this is what we're going to do. Because I really just want to know who everybody is as we go through. Okay, so here we have, let's just take a quick look. I'm sorry, I lied to you. We're going to look at the book and the deck, just so you can kind of know what I'm looking at. So for each card, you have what suit they're a part of. So here we have Earth. This says Creation Story. So up there in the top left, that's where you normally see which deity or archetype we're looking at. So here it's just Creation Story. That's it. It says Cross-Cultural Myth. And then it gives you attributes. So this is basically the part of the book that will talk about what it is that Creation Story is all about, or what this archetype is all about. Perspective is the words from the mouth of the model who worked with embodying this archetype. So here we have Laura Krajewski and Ellen Pele, who are mask makers, and Diana Moorhead, priestess, who was obviously wearing the mask. So they share their words about this particular archetype. And then you have Action, which here is Embrace Change, and then it goes into detail about the message of the card. So really powerful, simple, but easy to work with. What I love about this is you get the perspective of the people who were embodying that archetype, which I think is really, it just makes everything come alive in a way I don't know how to describe it. I'm gushing and I'm sorry, but I'm really excited. Okay, let's zoom back in. And I will keep the guidebook handy so that I can tell us who we're looking at. But here we have Embrace Change with the Creation Story. Next we have Honor Your Gifts, and this is Sif. So beautiful. This artwork, Light into Darkness, and this is Sancta Lucia, Goddess of Light from the Christian tradition. I don't know how that works, Goddess of Light and Christian. I don't know. Well, let's just read. Worshipped in many European cultures as a Christian martyr, Sancta Lucia, or Saint Lucy, was known to have fought against religious tyranny. During the long winter nights in Scandinavia, she is invoked with the lighting of simple candles and celebrated for banishing the darkness. Associated with the moon, her gentle light protects us with the comfort that daylight will soon be here. As bringer of light, she illuminates old and stale situations with visions of a new way. Sancta Lucia reminds us of the seasons. Even while the earth is frozen in the dead of winter, there is the promise of renewal and growth just around the corner. Resilience, and here we have Eve. Good archetype for resilience, I think. Ooh, self-love, and this is Gaia. Oh, beautiful. Look at this. Oh my god, this is so cool. Sorry. This is Pomona, goddess of orchards, ancient Roman, and it says expect abundance. Oh. For gratitude, we have Alat, who is a it says pre-Islamic Arabia. One of the 3 chief goddesses of Mecca. Wow. I'm missing a page. Oh, here we go. Here we have Artemis, goddess of the hunt and wild animals, Greek. Passion into action for Artemis makes so much sense. I really like how raw and intense Artemis is in this card. I think it's really, really gorgeous. Now we're into the water suit. Here we have Venus, victory through pleasure. We have Aphrodite, awakened to love. Inner wisdom, Mami Wata. Radiant splendor, we have Urzuli. Ride the wave of change, Chaos. Courage requires faith, Water Spider. Fearless choice, we have Goddess of the Afterlife, Polynesia. This is, okay, gosh. Hein Titama. I might be not saying that right, I apologize. Celebrate beauty, we have Oshun. Then we're into the air element, and we have unconditional love, and this is Rainbow Crow. Oh. Hear the cries, and this is Kuan Yin. Oh, it's really, really pretty. Listen, reflect, mirror, and we have Hina or Hina, I'm not sure how to pronounce that. For duality, we have double goddess or duality. Advocate and protect, we have Minerva. Communicate truth, Iris. Swift action, green Tara. Playful creativity, we have Lila or Leela. Just going to set the pile aside here a little. Now we're into the element of fire. Look at that. Sever outdated ways. And we have Kali. I love that so much. Protect fiercely. And we have Pele. She looks like she's in the volcano. How incredible is that? Ugh. Stand in your power. And this is, let's see if I can pronounce it, Guabense. I wish there was a pronunciation guide in here. That is one criticism I definitely have. I feel like if you're going to have names like that, it's helpful to have a pronunciation guide. But this is a Caribbean hurricane spirit. Love the idea of standing in your power for that. That's gorgeous. Actualize ideals. We have Sharawali. Face the dark. Inanna. Oh my gosh, that's intense. Accept rage and imperfection. And this is a Sumerian queen of the underworld, Erashkigal. Integrity, we have Lilith. Ugh. Be the light, Amaterasu. And now we're into the spirit element. So here we have commit to power, and this is in the spirit element Rhiannon. Fully present, white Tara. Imagine is Maya. Tacit knowledge, Mayari. Live large, Aryan Rod. She looks like an Aryan Rod to me. The body knows Mary Magdalene. Oh. Honor the path. And this is triple goddess. So maiden, mother, and crone here. This is stunning. Showing the female life cycle. Clarity of vision. We have Hawk Woman. It's so hard for me to not touch these cards. I'm sorry. Here we have, oh, and now we're into the creatures. So we have, and these also have elemental borders. So we have an earth creature, a water, air, fire, and spirit creature, which I think is really, really awesome. For earth, we have the antelope for balance. For water, we have the snake for flexibility. For air, we have the owl for knowledge. And for fire, we have the alligator for primal instincts. And for spirit, we have a white wolf here for fulfillment. Oh, it's so stunning. Okay, so let me zoom out. These are so beautiful. Oh my God. Okay. I'm going to give these a shuffle, and we are going to have one that we read a sample for. I know I kind of read part of, did I read the whole entry for the one that I cheated on earlier? I can't remember. Well, we're going to do it again. So I'm going to shuffle and do a sample draw. These do shuffle nicely. They are a stiffer cardstock. I would say they're at least 350 GSM. They aren't as clumpy as you would expect a like more rose petally or soft touch finish to be. They actually, as you can see, go back together really nicely, which speaks to what I was saying earlier about them being like a smoother. Yes, it's kind of rose petally, but they're smoother and slippier than some of them are. So shuffling and riffling, getting them to go back together is not hard at all. As you can see, no clumping, no issues. Love that. This is actually easier to shuffle than some regular matte cardstock can be. Okay. Ooh, Face the Dark. I think this is Inanna. Let's just see. So she is a fire, and she is card number 29. So go back just a little. Into fire. Here we go. Oh, look at that. Inanna, Queen of the Heavens, Sumerian. Attributes. In this ancient myth, Inanna descends into the bowels of the earth to visit her sister Eresh Kigal, Queen of the Underworld. On her journey, she passes through 7 gates where she disrobes, removing her symbolic sources of power. Stripped naked, she surrenders and is killed in the underworld, but 3 days later she is revived. Well, now that sounds a little familiar. When Inanna returns to life, she is spiritually transformed, bringing the wisdom of the underworld journey back with her. Beautiful. Perspective. So here our model is Leonora Gia, feminist sexuality educator. As a sexuality educator, my work involves helping people step bravely towards what has long been considered taboo, dangerous, or off limits. So many people avoid facing their sexual issues out of fear of what they'll find if they take the lid off the box. The ironic thing is that if you never do it, you will never have the pleasure or power or intimacy or richness of life you desire. Sexuality is a cultural exile. Inanna's story is a reminder that wholeness comes from facing the dark and embracing all of who we are. Oh, that's beautiful. Action. Face the dark. What is holding you back? What are your fears? Take the lid off and descend into your own underworld. Discover, reclaim, and praise aspects of yourself you have buried. This is not an easy journey. You must be brave. But when you face these fears, you unleash your power. It will not destroy. It will make you fuller and richer. Finally, you will be capable of achieving your grandest desires. This deck is so powerful. Like, it just has really potent, powerful, beautiful messages, and I'm so pleased to be able to work with it. The guidebook is really easily laid out, so it's super easy, I was going to say again, to find what you're looking for. There is an introduction with more information about, the project from Lisa's perspective, and then of course how to use the deck, including a few layouts and an elemental one which looks really interesting and is laid out like the back of the cards here. So that looks good. Then we get right into the card meanings, and then at the end, right after the last card, you have more about Lisa, who is our photographer here in this project, and about the women who participated and who modeled and embodied these divine feminine archetypes, which I think is really fantastic that we get to learn a little bit more about each one of them. I love that. I'm glad that that's in here. And then it says, after that, some acknowledgements, and then you have a goddess index in the back, so you can quickly refer to whoever it is you want to look up if you want to work with them, and use this to go right to their page. And then there is some credits here in the back, and that is the guidebook. Really, really, really stunned at just how full of depth this system seems to be. For starters, it's not often that we get such a rich, deep oracle deck to work with. And this is very much, of course, leaning into specifically the divine feminine experience, which I know not everyone will resonate with. But for me, as a woman, it is something that I find really powerful and meaningful, and something I'm really grateful to be able to get my hands on and work with. I am really pleased with not only the production quality, which is out of this world. I don't think I've gotten something that's just so stunningly produced in a while, but I mean, every new thing comes in and it's always really exciting when it's brand new. I will definitely let you guys know how this works out over the long term. You will see this show up in a monthly show and tell or in future discussions on favorite decks in different categories and things like that. You will probably see this crop up in the future. Until then, I'm going to spend some time getting to know it and working with it and deciding how I feel about it over the long term. But I am so honored to be able to share it because I think it's really special. And I think that decks like this, they don't come often. We see so many new decks coming out on the market right now, whether they're Kickstarter independent decks or just independently produced decks or mass market decks. There's a lot hitting the market all the time right now. This is clearly a passion project. And I feel about this kind of the way that I feel about the Tulku Oracle, which was another passion project, just full of depth and richness. If you're drawn to that kind of deck, if you're drawn to use decks for deeper work, to really get into that darker, deeper place, I think this is a really, really beautiful one that you would probably really enjoy working with. I love it. And I'm excited that it exists, and I'm going to stop gushing now because this is getting a little ridiculous, but it just really touched a place in me that decks don't always touch, and I think that makes it extra special. So thank you so much for hanging out with me. Let's see how this beautiful deck fans. As always, I do appreciate, look at that. Come on. See, this is proof. There is a difference between some rose petal or soft touch finishes and others, because that just fanned beautifully. No clumping, no issues whatsoever. Stunning production quality in this deck as well. And it's beautiful. Hello? Do we see how beautiful? Anyways, thank you so much for spending your precious time with me here on this channel. I genuinely appreciate it and you so, so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And as always, if you enjoyed this video or you found value in it, please do click the like button. I much appreciate that. It really helps me in the YouTube space. Do subscribe if you're new here and you want to continue to see videos. I do all kinds of deck reviews and walkthroughs, but I also do a lot of other content around mindful purchasing and maybe not buying all the things. So if that sort of content interests you, definitely subscribe and stick around. And don't forget to hit the little bell so you're notified of all my future videos. If you are interested in channel membership, I also have a join button down below that you can check out if you feel so called. Thank you all so, so much, and may your magic always shine from the inside out. Bye, guys.